Tragic facts in the life story of Axl Rose. He was a good student, but a dropout. Though Axl Rose certainly got into his share of trouble as a kid, he was not lacking in intellect. But it was his zero-tolerance policy towards authority that became problematic. On the placement tests in school, I was always in the top 3%, he told Rolling Stone. However, he dropped out in the 11th grade, went back as a senior, then dropped out again. Apparently he wasn't stimulated or excited by the curriculum, so he took a permanent hall pass to pursue topics of greater interest, or what he deemed Axl's school of subjects that I wanted to learn about, which one day led to the authorship of the immortal couplet, "Found a head and an arm in the garbage can, don't know why I'm here." He also studied music, though due to his stepfather's religious beliefs, he had to do so clandestinely. While most kids his age could crank their stereos or destroy their hearing with headphones, Rose had to rely on Ma Bell. "I remember once my friend Dave called me and played Supertramp over the phone," he told the LA Times. "I just acted like I was talking to him so no one would know." His volatility could cause real destruction. When Rose vented his rage, anything in his path could be in jeopardy. When Rolling Stone visited him in 1989, his condo looked like the aftermath of a battle between Chuck Norris and Godzilla. One guitar has been destroyed, the magazine reported, a mirrored wall shattered, several platinum albums broken beyond repair, and the telephone dropped off a 12th-story balcony. Apparently, Axl Rose had to get something out of his system. Rose wouldn't tell the reporter what had set him off, but he did explain his typical tantrum. "When I get stressed, I get violent and take it out on myself," he said. "I've pulled razor blades on myself but then realized that having a scar is more detrimental than not having a stereo. I'd rather kick in my stereo than cut my arm." Axl is like a magnet for problems, Slash told Rolling Stone years later, having endured multiple tours and recording sessions with the singer. "I've never met anybody like him. He's the kind of guy that would get a toothbrush stuck down his throat because that particular toothbrush happened to be defective." He left riots in his wake. Rose's volatility might have been self-directed in some instances, but the decisions he made either as a result of his anger or disregard for others occasionally had massive consequences. According to Rolling Stone, Rose ended a 1991 Street Louis show early after becoming irate with his security team for not properly dealing with an camera-wielding audience member. Following the tussle in the front row, Rose left the gig, and a riot started not long afterward, resulting in 60 injuries, 16 arrests, and $200,000 in damage to the facility. Similarly, at an August 1992 double bill with Metallica in Montreal, James Hetfield, Metallica's frontman, was severely burned in a pyrotechnics accident, cutting their set short. Rose then ended Guns N' Roses' set early, complaining of a sore throat. That set off a riot in which concertgoers, according to the New York Times, smashed stadium windows with an uprooted street lamp, looted a souvenir boutique, burned a sports car and Guns N' Roses t-shirts, and set dozens of small fires. As late as 2003, Rose would simply not show up at scheduled Guns N' Roses shows, causing riots in some venues and leading some promoters to stop booking the band. Therapy helped him work through his issues. Early in his career as the frontman of Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose sought treatment for the mental difficulties that had long troubled him. "I went to a clinic, thinking it would help my moods," he told RIP magazine, via the Los Angeles Times, in 1989. Doctors told Rose that he had bipolar disorder, which at the time was called manic depressive disorder, although it didn't solve everything for the singer. "The medication doesn't help me deal with stress. It keeps people off my back." Rose told Rolling Stone that he began controversial regression therapy in February 1991, hoping to identify the source of his volatile nature and deal with it proactively. "It's finding some way to break the chain," he explained. "I'm trying to fix myself and turn around and help others. You can't really save anyone. You can support them, but they have to save themselves." Much of this kind of therapy deals with recovering lost memories, which can sometimes be unreliable. Still, Rose claims the practice has helped him. "My life still has its extremes and ups and downs," he said, "but it is a lot better because of this work." The result of this effort was not forgiveness, nor was it to simply handle the problem and walk away. It was about grieving and assessing and coming to some understanding of the core reasons he sometimes behaved the way he did. "My growth was stopped at 2 years old," he said. And when they talk about Axl Rose being a screaming 2-year-old, they're right. There's a screaming 2-year-old who's real pissed off and hides and won't show himself that often, even to me. Here's to the hope that he's found some peace. Axl Rose often suffers health problems during concerts. During a concert in New York City in 1991 as a precursor to its years-long Use Your Illusion tour, according to Ultimate Classic Rock, Axl Rose attempted a powerful jump during You Could Be Mine and landed wrong, injuring his foot and leaving him in a cast for a handful of concert dates. According to Spin, that precluded the singer from performing his signature swaying dance move. 15 years later, according to the San Diego Union Tribune, and while singing Mr. Brownstone during the first show of a Guns N' Roses reunion tour, Rose slipped on stage and broke a bone in his foot so severely that he required realignment surgery. Per NME, Guns N' Roses had to end a concert early in 2018 when Rose's stomach pain became too much to bear. "I've been throwing up for the last 5 hours," he told the crowd at the beginning of the show, adding that he'd been bolstered, albeit temporarily, by intravenous and injected medications. A very similar turn of events went down at a Chicago concert in 2021. "I got to the show feeling great, but started getting sick pretty early on," Rose said on his band's Twitter page. "It progressed to where I was throwing up and was lightheaded." Axl Rose and Slash publicly feuded for years. By 1997, according to Ultimate Classic Rock, infighting and creative tensions had caused every appetite for destruction member of Guns N' Roses to leave the band, including guitarist Slash. Axl Rose and his former bandmate engaged in a war of words and legal filings over the next 2 decades. The relationship began to deteriorate in earnest in 1991, when Slash left a Guns N' Roses tour to collaborate with Michael Jackson, according to Rolling Stone Brazil, whom Rose, a child abuse survivor, disliked and distrusted over similar allegations levied against the pop singer. In 2005, per Billboard, Slash sued Rose for allegedly freezing them out of their royalty revenue shares in the neighborhood of $500,000 a year. Months later, Rose countersued and his management group called Slash an opportunist and manipulator. 3 years later, Rose called Slash a cancer to Spinner, and Slash told Rolling Stone in advance of GNR's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, which Rose ultimately refused to attend, that his former bandmate hates guts. "One of the two of us will die before a reunion, and however sad, ugly, or unfortunate anyone views it, it is how it is," Rose told Billboard in 2009. Nevertheless, in 2018, Rose and Slash happily reunited under the Guns N' Roses name. Dear viewers, do not forget to subscribe, like and comment for the development of our channel. Stay with love.